Not exactly right. You forgot Big J. You know what I mean? I know I'm at least 6'2", but jumping in, the French powerhouses, Snazy and Podesai. Ever since the Global Championship, I have become a huge fan of these guys. They got the entire French community on their side, and I'd be happy to shout for them in a crowd along with their community.
Let's see it become a reality here, Jacob. As so far from what I've heard, this match has a lot of big names. Vordexer's Volko as well here. Going to be able to get a bunker as well. Non-stop action from what we're seeing today as we get dropped in right as the action is going to begin. For this duo, though, no elims yet, so they're just playing their regular route here. Looting, getting the bunker, and making sure they've got everything they need to continue out through this game.
Yeah, kind of like back to basics for them. So far, things haven't necessarily been going their way, but there's still a lot of time left for them to kind of curve things in the upward trajectory. But I could see a team like this going back to those basics, start off slow, not get elimination hungry, because they do need the bare minimum. They don't have the upper bracket locked and secure just yet, but they just need a few points. And I see them being the type of team to where if things aren't going their way, slow it down, get the points, and start to get things back going. As Chapix and his duo actually seem to have all the loot over from Grim Gates already.
That's a scary loadout, Jacob. That is a scary loadout to have so early on. With the snipe coming through as well. And not only that, 7 elims for this duo. Chapix, Julie. They've got potential in this match. As now they're going to continue actually chasing that initial shot.
You don't want to let, like, when you get early damage and early positioning, especially when you can see a team playing defensively just like this, you kind of see it as easy eliminations. The first one's going to get dropped just like that. The mythic Gatekeeper shotgun just fires so quickly, reloads even quicker. They're just converging on different angles. You see they're not splitting up either. They're ready to bull rush into the box at the same time. They have that dash coin, so they can dash in to close the distance easy, and they're not wanting to let their opponent heal. Even though he is getting splashes off, that's just 20 HP in shield, and in shots like that, it means absolutely nothing because they're getting to expend every single resource before they finally backtrack for that original knock and that loot.
Gotta be careful here. You can see how many duos are kind of also rotating in. Zone closing as well. But so far, they're still looking incredibly healthy. Gonna pick up that loot now. Let's see actually what happened here, how they got to this position. This is before they had 8 eliminations on the board. Nice little dash plus a shot coming through. X-Swedes though, what happened at the reboot van? Teammate has been lost, but is gonna be brought back in.
Yeah, a lobby like this too, there's not going to be as many people around on this reboot that are, I think, going to try to attack it right away. So they will have a chance to try to get themselves back into the game. They do have a rotation to make because not only are they in zone, the next one is pulling away from them. So it is going to be important for Shakos to loot up as quickly as possible and find the HP heals because they are going to enter the next zone down on HP.
Restored reels now as they're restoring another fight here. Both players seem to be low. Julie trying to find an angle on the backside. As white shots connect, it's going to just cause them to apply more and more pressure, knowing that they have not only the HP and shield advantage, but even the positioning here. You got to be careful, though, with the duos in the surrounding area. As one shot's all it's going to take to get that knock. Now one solo left behind, but you got to be careful as the other duo comes through. Julie gets cracked now. Has the shields to recuperate, but will they get the time?
Great disengage method right there, but he's still just getting chased all around. But because of those early eliminations, he has so many resources to work with to expand outward, not become a focus. And this has become a few teams now in this position trying to disrupt this fight. Swizz, Jonas, Zug, all dropping down, trying to reunite. Huge strength in numbers, but shots still finding their way in. He cannot slow down. He cannot find a breath of fresh air at all because another elimination is going to be found by what looks like one of the more dangerous duos in this lobby.
They are looking incredibly confident starting this one out. Almost double-digit elims, and we're in the 4th zone, Jacob. Is this history for the round 4? I mean, so far today, the 3 matches we've seen have been won by duos that got their first ever victory royale in a round 4. Will that trend continue, or will we see historical veterans continue? Let's see a quick replay of how these elims came to be. They're looking lethal right now, Jacob.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they can be stopped, or at least not just yet. Karachi, default, just outside of Grim Gates, where they're positioned now. They don't have too much to worry because you can see the river sticks that are close by. Even though they don't have the 0-point dashes just yet, you can see the zone leaning in that direction. So even though they have some height now, they have the DMRs, they're looking for surge. When they make this next rotation in, don't be too surprised once they try to dip their toes into that water.
Looking at the leaderboard real quick. 134 points up at the top. Vortex, Belusi second with 131. It's quite close. Even Vico and Pink we can see. Can they hold on though?
It's gonna be one of the things that we're asking ourselves throughout this lobby. And one thing that past couple games has already showed us is how volatile these lobbies can actually be. And that's where you have so many players playing under so many different circumstances and situations. Some need the bare minimum, some need a massive day, which creates so many different players fighting fights for different reasons as well. Whether you're trying to protect your drop spot because you already got your spot secured, or whether you're just trying to keep your FNCS alive. Where you're at on the leaderboard means so much depending on how, or saying how you get to play. Do you get to play aggressive? Can you play solely for placements? Really depends on how many points you have at this stage in the game.
We're here back towards Grim's Gate, or Grim's Gate. Grim Gate here. As a reminder, there is that river of sticks that you can see, which is this water that's currently being swimmed through, that will give you those dashes without needing the medallion from the Cerebus boss. So it's a great way to kind of prepare yourself for upcoming zones and not have to use too many materials. But the thing is, all the duos in this area are going to be doing the exact same thing. So it's kind of like a lobby effect where everybody gets to conserve a bit more materials and kind of put themselves in a position that they want to be in.
Griffin swaps, 274 above. They already have their lower bracket spot secured. 170 points through the week 1 qualifiers. Just making it this far, you get a guaranteed 25. Just like everybody else, once you get into that upper bracket, it's a win and you're in situation for those first 5 games. And then you can just need a top placement to continue your upper bracket alive, as Kyrie, Gripe trying to do the same thing. One's gonna get knocked. Lusha's soon to follow. There goes 2 quick eliminations inside of Grim Gates as they rotate on out. And look at all the loot now, Scott, that they get to choose what their perfect loadout is from here on out for the rest of the game. And Kyrie, that was a huge flank on the Misha. And then his duo just did not see it coming. They were able to just dash in an instant.
Once again, taking a look at Uguay and Julie, also known as Chapix and Juan Last. 40 points on the board just from this match so far. This is crazy, Jacob. I mean, 9 eliminations so early on. I really hope they can keep the momentum going throughout the rest of this match, because this could be one of the biggest games, if not the biggest, that we'll see today. Issue is, though, they do have quite a ways to rotate. Positive side is they have the dashes that they can replenish here while they're rotating. So I think they're just kind of spending time to decide, you know, what's the game plan? What's going to be the best rotate? Actually choosing to go back and around to what might be the least congested side here alongside the west, where you actually don't even have the river of sticks or dashes.
I think they feel safe doing a rotation like this because exactly what you were saying, that just the loot disparity between them and the rest of the lobby. 2,600 above the damage threshold. Yes, that number was right. With those 9 eliminations and how terrifying they've been on the lobby, they just got to worry about making the zone. And with that well-executed rotation, it is going to be the slower side of the zone with very little contestation on the other side. Art Skill, Astral, 5 above. a little bit of breath of fresh air, but they know their job isn't done just yet. They immediately set their eyes on the open parts where players are going to have to rotate in. Shots are being landed left and right, and as soon as they get over 100 above that damage threshold, they immediately rotate, knowing that they have to still get to zone and beat every team there, so that way they can get the perfect spot.
Great job, though. Put themselves 112 above. They did what they had to. Reds, though, even being 161 below, it's now forced them to kind of find these angles, replacing opponents' builds. Can they get a big shotgun shot through? As Storm Surge is now active, and the pressure's on them.
Yeah, 180 below, that's not going to be easy to overcome either. Especially if you're taking damage, it allows you to just get one shot just like that. And they know his duo's there, probably suffering the surge, make it easy, break into the box. Even with a DMR, they're able to get that elimination. You see them choosing together the loot they want. Big pots, minis, Flowberry Fizz, the most important of it all.
What's happened here? X-Squeeze, Shakeoff, we saw them rebooting early on. So they have had a difficult mid-game. And X-Squeeze is once again been able to manage to get out of these situations. How do they do it, though? Let's take a look. Looks like it might have even been a... No, I was going to say 2 versus 1, but I don't know where his teammate went. They got the knock. They got the elim. What matters, though, is they're back in the game. I'm not sure with how much shield or loot, but they're still up, which is the important part for Snazy Potosai. 121 above. Very healthy in terms of loot, but what they could use is a bit more damage, and that's exactly what Snazy's looking for with the DMR.
Yeah, great find. Somebody else who probably needed damage. Snazy just kind of makes him close the build, looking behind, spotting out a couple players. This information that he's gathering here is vital for this next rotation, and even more so for the Storm Surge, in which they're trying to gather. Art Skill, Astral, both of them are going to get taken down, sent back to the lobby. Placement points now, Takata, are barely beginning to set in. So even if you get points at this stage of the game, it's not the spot in which you want to go down. You want to start to get consistent top 10s for your efforts. That way you leave nothing to worry about later on in the day.
That's the goal for default Kiriache. Let's see where their zone pulls. Okay, not too bad to the east. You can see them quickly reacting to that. Actually, might be one of the first duos here to get inside of the zone. Make sure they can stay ahead here. A good amount of materials to play it. They're going to try and play the low ground, from what it seems. Flowberry Fizz ready. I believe as this zone starts closing and it starts occupying that 8th zone space, they're going to keep moving forward and try and get ahead of the other duos. There's so many players east.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's unfortunate that there's so many players stacked on that side of the zone, which means timing has to be crucial. You go too early, you get a little focused by both the front side and the back side of the lobby. You go late, you get focused by everybody, and you're being pushed by zone. And that's why you see Kovacs and a couple players using those 0-point dashes to try to beat everybody to the punch, especially with zone opening up. As soon as those players on the back side of zone reach the front side, there will be so much space opened up.
Can they do it without getting tagged, though? Is what they're trying to. So far, X-Squeeze and Shakeoff doing a great job at it. They don't have, I believe, any shields to recuperate what they would lose. Am I seeing this right, Jacob? I'm getting a flashback from the past where Malabuka and Merstash did a skybase as well. I mean, now with the Flowberry Fizz, you can make sure to not take fall damage if you have it active, and I believe they've got even regular Flowberries that they can pop and the dashes here. So far, I mean... They're doing what has to be done to get placement.
It doesn't even look like anybody that had height has even looked up to see that all going down, but I think eventually, with the way the season has been playing, somebody will look to the backside of the zone to try to steal away height. Kiriachi in default, though, are doing a good job defensively. Over 500 above the damage threshold when it comes to Storm Surge, so not necessarily taking any risky peeks unless they have to. X-Squeeze and Shaco's 400 above, doing so well since the moment of the reboot on, but they're still left to just scraps. You're seeing the shields get drained off, and there's really nothing they can do to replenish, but they find Chapix. That's going to be an elimination, and leaving Juan all by himself.
Huge elimination.
Oh, wow.
Onto Chapix, but X-Squeeze now as well. Put in the dirt. 17 HP, 4 bandages is all he's got to recuperate it. 1 being popped now. Good news is his teammate partner is up. They're grouped up, but for how long? As the materials have run out, Shakeoff has all of the mats to work with. Now just one tick away from getting eliminated. Xweez, you have to group up with your duo partner.
To say, like, he can't even follow the tarp there for a moment. He did take one tick. Has bandages left, so he can get up to about 75 HP, but that's where it all stopped. Julie, 2,700 above. Nobody has even looked height still up until this point. This is where we're going to have some surprising players because, look, they think they're ultimate height. They don't even look back. They don't even look up. And I think this is going to be a huge chance to steal away the game.
Do they know, Jacob? They do not. We'll have to see how this closes out. But so far, I'm going to call them second height team here, thinking they're up above. Continuing to tarp her head here and shoot down. Drastic change in elevation for the players down below, especially the ones who do not have any dashes. Kiriache now left alone. 2 elims, 3 medkits though. He can play it a little safer in the zone.
Yeah, starts it a little early, trying to get those placement points. Top 16 situation, especially with his teammate going down. Xweez hasn't really had a chance to pause and really heal up in any form. HP finally gets the utility off with the Flowberry Fizz, but eventually goes down. That Zaire looks back, finds that elimination. Snazy with a couple hiccups, missteps on that edit. Finally is able to break Podeside through as they reunite as a full duo. But tragedy strikes. Snazy takes a full shot, landed. Pressure is there. Can he have the chance to heal as time is winding down?
Flopper's getting put to good use. None are left though now. All that's left is shields, a shieldfish, minis. Pressure needs to be applied here as he groups up to his duo partner. Medallion swapped. Medkits being popped now. Back in the game as Kyrie and Gripey here. Also with a good amount of mats. Both players up and healthy. Looking down below to see if they can find any shots, any potential eliminations.
Yeah, no opportunity yet, but teammate looks like he might have went greedy for the backside of the zone. Tried to grab the loot. Gripe gets found out. Kyrie's going to be left by himself. Opponent takes the position right in front of the box, blocks out the entrance, starts the med kit early. Vortexers and Volko, 5 eliminations. They've been having an easy path throughout this game, and they're looking to make it easier as they drop down low where very little people can test the map.
You can see in their inventory as well. 3 medkits, banana, 2 splashes. They have enough loot to play the heal off. Another elimination put on the board as well, bumping them up to 6 as they continue to pop the splashes now. They have to make that decision. You know, how do we last long enough to begin this heal off?
Yeah, but look at that team still on the high ground. No one has had a chance to look at him almost all end game long, but now Podeside by himself. 1 elim. Back a zone and a huge shot for Podeside to find that elimination. Give him some more builds to work with as we tune into Vortexers down to what could be a 1v2 situation. He has no teammate, but he has a legendary banana and 4 medkits.
That is more than enough to close this game off, but he cannot get eliminated here as the pressure is going to be on him. The player now knows he needs to take this engagement. Can the shot connect, though? 126.
Wow.
Is it going to stop the med kit? Has he got it off in time? I think he has. As now the other player, all that's left are chug splashes to play it.
Yeah, there's not enough HP. I don't think there's enough HP on the Vortexers. He needs some sort of flopper, or maybe the chug splashes if he's looking to stay alive. But on the other side, the legendary banana by itself is doing a ton of work, getting that HP back per second. Finally, the splashes are coming out, but Vortexers is down to almost nothing. The last med kit being used, but the legendary bananas are going to stop, so these splashes will be used much quicker. He tries to find whatever he can left. Vortexers doesn't get any HP on the ground, so Wed is going to be able to win the game with ease.
That's it. Vortexers was forced to pop the medkits earlier alongside that 120 pump shot from the opponent. That stopped him from playing the ultimate heal off there, and the victory royale was taken from the duo that played high ground.
Yeah, it was almost like a game of chess there at the end. It would have been just a little bit easier, but Vortex was able to fend off that first shot, and there it was. We were waiting for that moment. They dropped down to perfection, got the elim, got the extra builds, and they played that one perfectly.
It was the Skybase team from above. Kantri and Wed managed to not only do a successful Skybase, but also get a victory royale. What a way to close it off. I need to see that from a different perspective. So, Frankie, 11 minute, you got to tell me what just happened.